6 politicians who have stolen the most money in history. 6. Ferdinand Marcos stole $10 billion from the Philippines. Philippines Prosperity Ranking, 84 out of 167. Ferdinand Marcos ruled the Philippines for 21 years. He and his wife, Imelda, founded fictitious companies. In 1972, Marcos declared martial law. It lasted 9 years, and it was a dark period for the country. Thousands of people were arrested and executed. Marcos used it to take over the nation's industries. He bought the National Power Company for $220. Marcos had a controlling stake in every industry, from casinos to TV, from logging to cigarettes. It was all his. Marcos was a lawyer, so it was all perfectly legal. He wrote the laws himself. Marcos and Imelda fled the country after a revolt in 1986. They took the money with them, and no one has found it. 5. Zine El Abidine Ben Ali stole $13 billion from Tunisia. Tunisia Prosperity Ranking, 99 out of 167. Ben Ali and his wife Layla Trabelsi bled Tunisia dry. They gave themselves stakes in all its primary industries. The couple owned radio and TV stations, banks, airlines, car dealerships, and ISPs. This was on top of all the kickbacks they received. For Ben Ali's daughter, frozen yogurt was flown in from France. It was transported aboard a private jet. After the 2011 Jasmine Revolution, the rulers fled Tunisia. Before leaving, Layla drew out 1.5 tons of gold from the central bank. They settled in Saudi Arabia. Ben Ali suffered a massive stroke after Interpol issued a warrant for his arrest. 4. Suharto stole $35 billion from Indonesia. Indonesia Prosperity Ranking, 63 out of 167. Suharto's New Order regime was a boost for the economy. Indonesia did see a period of unprecedented growth, but Suharto was a military dictator. He used his unchecked power to get wealthy. Suharto ended up selling Indonesia's infrastructure to China. To this day, the Chinese-run companies affect the entire economy. Indonesia was hit hard by the Asian financial crisis. Suharto resigned, but was deemed too frail to be tried. He died in peace. 3. Viktor Yanukovych stole $40 billion from Ukraine. Ukraine Prosperity Ranking, 74 out of 167. In Ukraine, the presidential term is 5 years. Yanukovych only completed 4 before he was ousted, but in that short time, he set a corruption record. He set up a network of shell companies to launder money. Billions were siphoned off to various offshore companies. The president lived in a historical 137-acre palace with a private zoo. Yanukovych fled to Russia in 2014 after a wave of popular protests. Only about $1.5 billion of the money has been recovered. 2. Hosni Mubarak stole $70 billion from Egypt. Egypt Prosperity Ranking, 121 out of 167. Mubarak got rich on military contracts even before becoming president. But after assuming office, he also grew powerful. He invested heavily in real estate and land deals. Mubarak's family had holdings in LA, London, Switzerland, and elsewhere. Most of Mubarak's assets were frozen. He was arrested and sentenced to life imprisonment in 2012. A couple of years later, he was acquitted. Mubarak died at 91 and was given a lavish state funeral. All the assets have been unfrozen since then. None of the money was ever returned to Egypt. 1. Muammar Gaddafi stole $200 billion from Libya. Libya Prosperity Ranking, 146 out of 167. Libya has one of the world's largest oil reserves. Yet most Libyans lived in abject poverty. The oil profits were used to support one family's extravagant lifestyle. The family, of course, were the Gaddafis. In Tripoli, 2 gated resorts were built for Muammar and his kin. They consisted of fancy beach villas and astounding infrastructure. The Gaddafis owned almost $500 million worth of properties. Muammar Gaddafi was killed in a popular uprising in 2011, but most of the money hasn't been recovered.